This is my 12 in 2024 challenge catch-up video, and this is the only book of the 6 remaining books that I need to read that I own. I put in my library requests, and I need to go pick those up. First, I'm gonna get back into this book that I had started months ago, and I was in a reading slump, so I never got past chapter 2. Library time. I literally walked in the library, picked them up, and got back in the car, but my eyes, well, this eye specifically, is so dry, it literally felt like I was being like stabbed. It was so painful. It's still hurting. All that to say, I picked up 3 of the 6 books that were available for pickup at the library. I have here The Extraordinary Deaths of Mrs. Kipp. I've heard great things about this one. The Vanishing Half, I've been wanting to read for a very long time. Cloud Cuckoo Land, I've heard great things about as well. Which is why all of these were 12 challenge recommendations. So it's my eyes hurting. I don't know how much I'm gonna actually read, but I'm gonna like do my best, and let's just keep going. I'm being mocked for my small frown.
Not being mocked, it's cute.
I have been flying through this. I'm more than halfway done. I haven't even been reading like straight through. I've been kind of going off and on. There is some language, and there is frequent mention of like open door thing. Like, it's more like, it's more fade to black. I think it is skippable, but it's frequent enough that if you don't want to deal with that, it could be annoying. This kind of writing style and books, I can kind of tolerate a little bit more because the story tends to be worth it. It's close enough, but it hasn't crossed the line. This girl, the main character, has been through so much bad stuff. Never really had anyone cared about her. Never, you know, had a family, or like she had people, but not like true family. She feel like she belonged. How she feels about finding friends and people in a place where she feels like she belongs is very relatable, because we all want that. Very realistic in a way that you want to keep reading and you want to know what happens. It's truly the first book that I've been reading in a while that when I'm not reading it, I'm thinking about it and I want to get back to it, and that hasn't happened, like I said, in quite a while, like a couple months, I would say. Very much showing the struggle of like things changing and having to move on. It's just very realistic in that sense, and very like, I could sit and cry about it, but I think that it's just done very well. Although I don't agree with her choices necessarily, I appreciate what she's saying about having someone to talk to. This one, I'm super close to the end. Like, it looks like I have more than I think I actually do, but then I have 3 other books to read, this one and the 2 others that are over there. My remaining 2 still say in transit to the library, so there's no way that I'm getting to those, but I'm just gonna go ahead and try to get as much progress as I can in this, get into this book, and just read what I can and keep going, which means that this video might be late, and I'm really sorry, and that's why I don't like telling you guys when videos go up, because then it gets disappointing for me and for you. But I'm doing the best I can, so let's keep reading. I had a feeling I would cry at the end. And I'm trying not to. I'm trying to like hold it together here. This book is really what you would hope for from friendship. She goes a lot of places, she meets a lot of people, and the way that it ties together at the end is so worth it, in my opinion. I could see how people wouldn't like this book, but I can also see why people love it. And I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars, mainly because it could be 5 if I didn't have so many issues with it. What I love about it is certainly 4-star worthy. So I'm really glad that I read this. So many quotes that I'm like, I feel that. Even the ending, it's just like there will always be people that come and go in your life, but then there are also the ones that you know will either always be there or always be important to you when it's most important. Does that make sense? Something to be said for like not expecting people to be what they're not and appreciating people for what they are in your life, but then also knowing that there are going to be those people who are always there when you really need it, just like you would be for them. I don't know, I just love the like friendship, like true just kindness and friendship in this book despite the issues. Yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say about that. It's time to just dive right into the next one. I've got The Vanishing Half right here, and I've been wanting to read this one for a very long time, so I'm excited and hopeful. Let's just get right into it. The Vanishing Half is twins inseparable as children ultimately choose to live in 2 very different worlds, one black and one white. I don't remember anything else about it, and I kind of just want to like jump into it without reading the whole synopsis, but basically that's what it's talking about. So gingerbread chai oatmeal something.
Tell you what, it's not. Not my sandwich.
I wouldn't probably get the whole thing, but it's a good sample. A drink that I did not order. That's good. The drink that I did order. This one doesn't even have a sticker on it, so I don't even know if this is what I ordered. But it's good. I was reading this. I actually made really good progress. Honestly, like 35-ish% into the book on page 118. And to be quite honest, I am just not really vibing with it. I really am interested in like the twin dynamic and like what's going on with the sisters, but it's starting to follow one of the twins' daughter, and I just don't really like her storyline. Like, I'm just not really very interested in it. There's not a lot of language in this. There's a little bit, but not a lot. But there is some PC stuff that I'm just like, I don't feel like enduring this when I'm not really caring that much about what's going on. I started The Extraordinary Deaths of Mrs. Kipp, and I'm enjoying it so far, even if just for the fact that it's faith-based, and I feel much more aligned with this one, and it matches my sweatshirt pretty well. But so far it's interesting. I'm on page 38, so making really good progress because I barely have started it, and I've gotten to that point pretty quickly. So I'm just gonna continue reading this right now and potentially DNF the other one. We'll see. I don't know, but I just want to get into this one, and I still want to get into this book as well. My other two still have not come in, so I'm like, I need those other 2 books. It might just have to be a separate video. Let me get back to reading, and I'll keep you updated on what I'm thinking about this. New day, same outfit, because guess who needs to do laundry? I think, chapter 9. Chapter 9 in The Extraordinary Deaths of Mrs. Kipp. I'll be so honest, I'm just now starting to get the picture of like who the main characters are, what's going on in the story. It's really not complicated. I think it's just my focus level wasn't there. I'm sort of into it. I definitely like am more aligned with the tone of the book, the Christian aspect, faith elements, all of that. But is it the most riveting, and am I like super engaged? Not really, but I hope to like it. I hope to finish it today, honestly. I want to finish it today and get into Cloud Cuckoo Land. That book is huge. I don't know when I'm going to finish that, but I don't want to put this video up until I either finish it or DNF it. So I was thinking also, I just need to get back to like being okay with liking the books that I like, not liking the books that I don't like, DNFing if I need to. I just put so much pressure on myself, and you guys are always telling me not to, but I have the tendency to do it anyway. But I was just like watching back some of my older videos because I'm getting ready for Bookmas, which we're so excited about, and just like noticing I don't know, there's been a lot of like increased high standards on Booktube, I would think, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I feel like I've allowed myself to put so much pressure on myself for no reason. So I'm just getting back to, if I like this book, I will read it, and if I don't, I'll DNF it, and that's okay, and it doesn't make the video bad. So there may be other things that make it bad, but that's not one of them. Anyways, getting back to reading, I just wanted to share what I was thinking about. One thing I'm not getting about this book is, why is the editor so pressed to have this done fast when the woman's still alive? Like, basically the plot is journalist has to write an obituary for a woman that's still alive but is in hospice. But like, why is the editor like, you have to get this done right now, basically, when the woman's still alive? I don't understand. I don't get it yet. Maybe I missed that in the first 9 chapters that I was zoned out from. I don't know. Also, I feel like Mrs. Kipp is me, or at least who I aspire to be. Like, I want to be her when I grow up. Because some of the things she says, it's like, I could see myself saying that in that situation. Trying not to like show you too much of what's going on in the story, but there are just so many quotes that I want to remember, and since this is a library book, I can't like tab it or anything, but there's so much that I like relate to. And what I was saying, I think in the last clip, how I want to be like Mrs. Kipp when I grow up, but I feel like at the moment I feel like I'm more Aiden than Mrs. Kipp. I don't know, it's just interesting. I feel like I can see myself in both characters. The quotes really relate because of that. That's exactly what I mean. I really didn't see this book making me cry. I love this. I simply tried to love people as best I could for as long as I was privileged to be with them. I don't stay long in each other's lives. The crux of our humanness. You have to be the friend people need while they are there with you, because it's the only chance you'll get. Off to go allow this book to continue to crush my heart and soul. 7. I have about a half hour before I need to go to bed so I can get up in the morning and finish this book because I don't have that much left. Easy 4 stars. I thought about rating it higher. I think there were some things that weren't as cohesive as I would have liked, but overall, such a great story and an inspiring one. The way that this main character lived. A sense of like living the life that you're given right in front of you instead of always looking for something else, and loving the people that are right in front of you instead of being negative or waiting for things to be different or whatever. She's just a very high character main character, definitely the kind of person that I would like to be, so love that. Last book for this video is gonna be this massive one. Okay, we've got a short little prologue I think I'm gonna read, and then I will dive into this probably off camera. Probably gonna do a lot of reading off camera and then update you periodically. I'm just gonna do the prologue and then I'm gonna go to sleep, and then I'll talk to you whenever I've made more progress in this. Five seconds later, I just have to say this is kind of giving me some Project Hail Mary vibes, and I'm so here for it. Operation Try to Read This Entire Brick in One Day has begun. Alright, it's about 2:15, and that's the progress I've made so far. So not doing amazing, but hopefully I will be able to just sit down and focus now and get some good reading done. Chances of finishing this today are very unlikely. Also forgot to tell you guys what this is about. I mean, I'm still kind of trying to figure it out, but it's basically about this book about this magical land that's made of like clouds and gold and fancy stuff. I think it's a book or it's a legend. I'm uncertain at this point, but then there are like 3 timelines where each of the characters, I guess, are coming across this story or something to do with it. I don't know yet. It's very, I don't know if I would say whimsical, but it's very like mysterious in the sense that I'm not sure how the 3 storylines relate yet, but I'm definitely interested in 2 of the storylines, and the other one I'm gonna hopefully get there. I am enjoying it, and I'm on chapter 4, page 111, so pretty good progress. Okay, honestly, I really want to like this book, but there is one storyline that I'm just pretty bored with, and it's the longest one. I want to hear more of the other 2 storylines because I think they're pretty interesting, but the one is just not really holding my attention at the moment, and I'm almost to page 200, but we'll see how this goes, because it's a pretty big book, but I'm just kind of like, where are we going with this? I really want to like it. Okay, all I gotta say is the magical library is a dream, and I want to go there. I think that sounds wonderful. That part alone is what is keeping me reading this book right now. And I don't know if you guys remember when I read the book called The Library of Ever, but that's the vibe it's giving me, and it reminds me that I want to read that second book. So guess who got Starbucks again? Day, I don't even know of reading this book. Or getting there. To be so honest, I like dread when it's this one particular timeline. It's so dull. To me. Like, some people probably love it. I'm sure there's a point to it. I'm sure it's necessary to the story somehow, but every time it like has the heading that says this particular place, I'm like, not again. And that's where I just got to in the book. So I'm going to try to read this chapter and focus in a reasonable amount of time. Hoping to feel differently by this point. I'm on page 400, and really the only storylines that I really would love to have like back and forth is Seymour and Constance. I know the others are probably important to the story based on information we're finding out, but like, I really only care about those two storylines, so I wish it was just those. About 200 more pages. Alright, it's a little bit later that night. A little bit is like several hours later, and it's freezing. It went from like 70 degrees to 40 degrees so fast. I'm so cold. Hence the jacket. All right, I have 150 pages left, give or take a few, but do we think I can finish this tonight? That would be so amazing, because I would love to just be done with this, see how everything turns out, finish up the storylines I like, be done with the storylines I don't like. Let's see how far I can get. By the way, would you do me a huge favor if you haven't already, and go ahead and subscribe and share this video so that we can have more friends enjoying books together and grow this channel. You can just click share and then create post, and then you get to share it with anybody that's on your YouTube, and that's just a fun way to share Booktube content with each other. If the thing that was just like figured out is true, I would be so mad. I would be so mad. Page 500, that's all I'm saying. Well, that went well. Well, my bookmark fell out, so now I get to try to figure out what page I was on when I was falling asleep. Did it. For those who absolutely love this book and it's a 5 or 6 stars for you, please don't hate me with my rating. I kind of had a rating in mind throughout probably like the last 200 pages of the book, and I was kind of worried that it wasn't high enough, and it wasn't fair. But then I went through the whole Caw Pile rating system and it came out to exactly what I was thinking. So I'm gonna give this a 3.5, mainly because I really love the way that it was all brought together. I think it's actually very intelligent and very smartly done. But I didn't love 3 out of the 5 characters and their storylines. Or there's 5 characters or 6? See, I don't even know, to be honest. Wait, we've got the girl, the boy, the girl, the boy, the man. 5. So 3 out of the 5 I didn't even really like for most of the book. That's not enough to give it like 4 stars. You know what I mean? If this book had been just like Constance's story, even Constance and Seymour, I would have absolutely loved that. That would have been so interesting. I really like the way that their stories tie together. Honestly, if the book itself was just Constance's story, I would absolutely love it. I think that whole plot is so fascinating. But I just didn't love the other parts. It was very interesting. I appreciate the way that this was done and how thoughtful it was to put it all together. It just wasn't my favorite book of all time. However, I'm very proud of myself for having read this 622-page book. And even though I did not finish this video in the 6 days that I wanted to, I'm pretty happy with myself for not peer pressuring myself into not finishing this book just to get the video up. So I'm very happy with that. Just to go back and recap, because I don't remember what I said, I am pretty confident that I'm gonna soft DNF The Vanishing Half. It's one of those that if I came across it in a little free library, or if I was just really intrigued and wanted to pick it back up, I definitely would. I'm not like hard DNFing it. I just cannot finish it in this video. And honestly, like, I might hold on to it and potentially continue it in the other 12 challenge video that I need to make, but I'm just not finishing it right now. I really enjoyed the people we keep for the most part. I mean, you guys remember what I said probably better than I do. I think that was a really moving story from what I remember. Honestly, I don't remember much though. My favorite of all of these was The Extraordinary Deaths of Mrs. Kipp. I can see myself in both of those characters, and I just really loved the faith elements and just the way that the story was brought together overall. I just thought it was really sweet, and I can see why so many people love it. Honestly, I can see why people love all of these books. I just have my preferences, and so do you, and that's great. And that's what's so fun about this challenge. I feel like I say that in every video that I do my 12 challenge. Is the point of this is to try books that I might not ordinarily pick up, and I'm really glad that I did that in this case because these books were really good. The next video you guys will see is finishing up my blind date with Bookmas, because Bookmas is like 9 days away, right? I think today's the 21st, so I will be starting filming Bookmas in 9 days. I am not prepared for that. Excited, but not prepared. But the next video you guys will see is finding out what these books are and me reading them, hopefully. Until then, that's everything. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I will talk to you all next time. Bye!